Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Нашите предавания предлагат много езици. Моля вижте suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Just like the book says, be a messenger of love, and every cell in our body will feel that love, and they'll get up every morning and say, I want to help this person fulfill their mission.
The launch of love is the only solution in the United States, part 7 of 12. Please continue watching to find out more.
I recommend a low-fat, whole foods, plant-based diet for multiple reasons. First and foremost, it not only can prevent the majority of chronic diseases, but it also helps reverse lots of chronic diseases and keeps you healthy overall. It's the best diet to help keep you medicine-free and disease-free. In addition, it will make you feel more energetic, give you better mental clarity, and help with weight loss. Dr. Pritesh Mutha, MD, vegan.
Peace begins on your plate. 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 Peace begins on your plate.
You welcome to Palestine.
Thank you.
O Gaza, count your blessings, make peace, love the living.
Supreme Master Ching Hai, vegan.
You are welcome in my house.
When gathering with old pals in the warm sun of American Samoa, you can express your joy with Ua'u Whiawhia, which translates to I am happy in the native Samoan language. My name is Lamanu. The beneficent residents of American Samoa hope that you seek spiritual liberation and enjoy true inner freedom. May your soul soar freely toward the spiritual realms in the abundant grace of the heavens.
There are 211 countries and regions which have animal people protection laws. Obey the law of your country. No more animal people slaughterhouses. No more hurting. No more murdering them to eat, to lab test, or for any reason at all. Be vegan, make peace, so be it.
Welcome to the launch of Love is the Only Solution in the United States, Part 7 of 12. Supreme Master Ching Hai, vegan, is a highly gifted, multi-talented and fully enlightened master. She's also a world-renowned humanitarian, environmentalist, author, artist, designer, musician, and film director. through all of her endeavours, Supreme Master Ching Hai, as previous enlightened masters have done, conveys heaven's infinite love and concern for all beings, as well as her boundless encouragement, and offers access to our true nature through the Kuan Yin method. Her newest book, Love is the Only Solution, published in 2021, and with hundreds of thousands of copies distributed worldwide, is an absolute must-read in these urgent times. It contains heartfelt messages from Supreme Master Ching Hai, dedicated to the vision of world vegan, world peace. She also identifies the root cause of all unfortunate events, the destructive meat-eating habit, which has made countless animal people endure untold suffering since time immemorial. Her message emphasizes that humanity must sincerely respect the universal law of love for all beings and transition to a compassionate vegan lifestyle to bring about positive change.
Peace is happening around our world. October 2023, Taiwan, also known as Formosa, says peace with China is the only option.
寻求两岸之间可以和平共处，人民之间可以自由而无拘束、无负担的往来，让台湾甚至两岸都能成为区域和平稳定的贡献者。我要再一次强调，和平是两岸唯一的选项。
By creating peace, we all can make a loving, serene, and prosperous world.
On May 27, 2023, the state of Arizona, famous for the iconic Grand Canyon, Red Rock formations, the Sonoran Desert, and plenty of sunshine, welcomed the premier event for Love is the Only Solution in the United States. Organised by members of our Supreme Master Ching Hai International Association, or Vegans, the event took place at the Phoenix Mesa Arts Center. Thanks to modern technology, international audiences were able to join virtually from their homes, with approximately 40,000 viewers tuning in from various countries around the world. Keynote speakers of the event included the Emmy Award-winning news anchor, Shining World Hero Vegan Journalist Award recipient, and founder of Unchained TV, Miss Jane Velez-Mitchell, vegan.
Hey everybody, I am so jazzed to be here. I have met people who have come from around the world to be here.
Author of the best-selling book, The World Peace Diet, and Shining World Hero Award recipient, Dr. Will Tuttle, vegan.
Well, this is exactly right. What Supreme Master Ching Hai is writing about here is the key. The highest form of love is compassion.
Cardiologist and Shining World Hero Award recipient, Dr. Baxter Montgomery, vegan.
I'm looking forward to a heartfelt demonstration and expression of love by all the attendees and a great message from my colleague,
and Shining World Award for Earth Protection recipient and founder of Climate Healers, Dr. Sailesh Rao, vegan.
A vegan world by 2026. Believe it, and let's make it happen.
Many distinguished guests worldwide also sent messages of support for this meaningful event, including the director of the documentary films Cowspiracy and What the Health, Shining World Compassion Award recipient and filmmaker Mr. Keegan Kuhn, vegan, Australian filmmaker, author and animal citizen communicator Miss Billy Dean, vegan, and founder of Young Indian Vegetarians in Animal Sanctuary UK, Mr. Nitin Mehta, vegan. Outstanding singers and artists brought beautiful performances to mark this special occasion, such as Mongolian chart-topping singer Miss Nomi Jean Cada, vegan, renowned Italian soprano Miss Giorgia Fermanti, vegan, lead vocalist of the Sonic Universe Mr. Alex Arden, vegan, multilingual singer Miss Jane Kadange, vegan, and Ukrainian or Uranian sand artist Ksenia Semenova. In our series of shows, we're delighted to present this inspiring event honouring Supreme Master Ching Hai's book, Love is the Only Solution. Please enjoy Part 7.
So this is why it is so important for us to convince everyone we know to go vegan as quickly as possible so that we start seeing the CO2 level in the atmosphere come down.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah, that's reversal.
A quick response there?
I think it's very important to remember that right now we're overfishing the oceans in a completely unsustainable way. We're bottom trawling, mid-range trawling, surface trawling. There's basically no fish left in the oceans. 2/3 of the fish we're eating now are factory farmed, which is completely devastating to ecosystems. Soil erosion is destroying millions of acres of land because we're using genetically engineered corn and soy and alfalfa to feed to these imprisoned animals, causing nutrient-rich runoff, causing massive dead zones. There's over 40 dead zones worldwide now where nothing can live because of hypoxia. So we have to understand that animal agriculture is devastating not just to the climate, but to so many other things. Deforestation. We're cutting down rainforests right now at about 3 to 4 acres per second in the Amazon. This is completely unsustainable, and it's causing the largest mass extinction of species in 65 million years. So we have to, I think, really have a broad view of the many ways that animal agriculture is destroying ecosystems, including like here in Phoenix, basically it's sucking so much water out of the aquifers that took millions of years to charge, and we're taking it out, within a few decades. They'll be empty because it takes so much water to irrigate all the feed grains. So really important to get educated about the many dimensions of the environmental impacts of animal agriculture.
Yeah, well said, Doctor. Okay, moving on to our next question. Not only are we facing a climate crisis, but also a human health crisis. Cancer and obesity rates are increasing across the world. We're facing the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as other new diseases seem to be appearing weekly almost. So how can we regain our health? Dr. Montgomery.
That's a great question. It's interesting that you mentioned the COVID-19 pandemic because we saw that pandemic as sort of a virus invading our bodies. And we saw, okay, this is a pandemic of an infectious disease. However, every year we have a pandemic of heart disease and cancer. In fact, heart disease and cancer combined in the United States kills more people every year than we've lost American soldiers in every war that we fought in the history of the United States. And so that devastating process of just those two chronic illnesses have that impact. The third leading cause of death is medical treatment. So when someone is diagnosed with a chronic illness, such as heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and these illnesses, they originate from putting unnecessary chemicals in our bodies. The unnecessary chemicals are from the processed animal protein we consume, the dairy products, the eggs, the other overly processed foods, and the chemicals and preservatives and toxins and dyes that go into these foods. So these abnormal chemicals cause what's called oxidative stress, inflammatory processes, and they disrupt our microbiome. That leads to our chronic illness. So the solution, typically in allopathic medicine, is to give another chemical to treat the underlying problem caused by an initial abnormal chemical. And so it's no surprise that the third leading cause of morbidity and mortality in the United States is medical treatment. And it may actually be number one or number two. It just depends on how you calculate the data. So we are facing and have been facing a pandemic of chronic illness that's ongoing. Since 2014, we saw a slight decrease in life expectancy in the United States. In 2019, there was a nosedive drop from 2019 to 2020 that preceded the pandemic. And then again from 2020 to 2021, a double nosedive. So from 2019 to 2021, we saw a reduction in life expectancy in the United States of about 2.7 years. Wow. We're seeing increase in chronic illness among preteens, teenagers. There's type 2 diabetes, heart disease. I've seen, teenagers with congestive heart failure in my practice. I've had to put them on detox regimen and the like. So chronic illness is becoming the norm, is becoming accepted. And the accepted treatment is not to change our lifestyle, but just yet another pill. New pills for weight loss, new pills for heart disease. You're talking about the media being, captured. The medical professions are captured. And so you go to the medical professional meetings, and of course, the big industry control these meetings. They can control our treatments and control our message. The standard medical care is controlled by the medical industrial complex. So it's an indication for me as a cardiologist to treat someone with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pills or a surgery or a device implant. That's the standard of care. So when I talk to someone about nutritional detox and weaning medications, then I'm stepping outside the standard of care. However, that's too bad because that standard is the standard to get my patients better. And that's the standard I'm going to stay with.
Yeah, well said.
Always follow the money. The great film What the Health had a great scene where they were trying to talk to the medical professionals about this very issue, and the woman runs out from the hospital and says, "We can't talk about this. This is our business. Follow the money. You can't make money off treating a healthy person." And also, there's no better customer or better patient than an addict. And so the entire medical community is designed to treat people who are already sick, not prevent them from becoming sick in the first place. And this is tremendous conditioning. And, it goes through all these institutions. We talked about the media. We talked about government. We talked about corporations. We're talking about the medical industry. The veterinarian industry is also, I know so many people who have gotten into vet school because they love animals, and they are funneled that, first of all, they're sometimes forced to do things that they find highly objectionable to animals. And they have a crisis. Well, do I drop out or do I? And then they're funneled toward factory farms and laboratories. So the institutions are, all of them, making money off of animal suffering and human suffering. I think Dr. Rao said it best when he said, we're all being factory farmed. And that's really the truth. We're all being factory farmed. And, one of the hallmarks of being brainwashed is you don't know you're brainwashed. One of the first hallmarks of waking up from brainwashing is when you start to go, wait a second, this doesn't make sense to me. Am I being sold a bill of goods? This is what we have to do, is convince people that they're being sold a bill of goods. And, people say, tell everybody you know. Here's a weird counterintuitive thing. I personally feel it's a lot harder to convince people you're close to go vegan than it is to convince a stranger. And that's one of the reasons why I started Unchained TV, because I've had those years of discussions with that cousin or that neighbor or that, and there's nothing I can say, because when you know somebody, they take it personally. But when you're getting advice from a stranger, okay, you don't take it personally. So it's much better, in my opinion, to send them a documentary or get them to watch a piece of content and then back off, let them form their own conclusions. And again, I think let's focus on mass media with 8 billion people and the clock running out, and that cranky uncle or that, pain in the neck neighbor who says, "What do you eat, grass?" Let it go. Maybe text them a documentary every so often. Thank you.
Well, okay. I wanted to say amen to both of these wonderful people. What you both said is really important. I think this is really critically important. And I think the underlying idea we have to really understand and take home from this whole thing is that if we are going to insist on exploiting animals, we are being exploited. We end up being exploited. We're the ones that end up with a triple or quadruple heart bypass or cancer or diabetes. And if we care about animals and liberating animals, that's actually the foundational way of liberating us and liberating humanity. I am so grateful to be married to this wonderful, my wonderful wife, Madeline, who cooks only with organic, vegan, whole foods. And we have stayed out of the medical establishment for over 40 years. We haven't been to a doctor, to a drugstore, to anything. And it's nothing to be proud of. It's just the basic idea is if we really take responsibility for our health, and that means our food, our consciousness, our exercise, our creativity, having a purpose, all these things, question all the official narratives in our society about everything, and then be willing to live a life for the few years we got on this earth, because we're not here forever, that is making a statement. They have a mission of liberation, and just live that. And just like the book says, be a messenger of love. And every cell in our body will feel that love, and they'll get up every morning and say, I want to help this person fulfill their mission, right? And we can all do that. So thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about creating a system that's based on health, true health care, as opposed to disease management, which is really what's going on today. Because, we think it's a healthcare system, but it's really managing our diseases. That's all they're doing. Know that. And know that we have to create something new. And this is why I say this is the most creative time in human history. Because we have been asked to create something new within the next 3 years. So that means we have to work on creating a system that's based on true health. It's based on love for animals, love for human beings. So creating a love-based system to replace the system that's currently based on fear. That's what it is based on. It's based on scarcities. Yeah. So you have to create something that's based on love and abundance. And that's a completely different game, right? So that's why I say that we have to think outside the box and think about creating new systems, new education system, new political system, new currency systems. It's a new game we're playing.
Well said. Okay, on to our next. Our next question concerns animal people laws and vegan politics. Supreme Master Ching Hai often states the immediate need for a worldwide meat ban that would make factory farming and other animal people exploitation illegal. She often talks about how quickly laws would change if governmental leaders would turn vegan. Miss Velez Mitchell, I actually watched Jane Unchained. Jane, I recently watched you featured an animal rights case on Unchained TV where you did a panel for about a week on a case that was in California. So would you like to share a little bit about your thoughts about animal people laws and vegan politics?
Absolutely. I was a crime reporter for several decades, and now I feel I'm still covering crime, the crime of the century. Okay, because what's happening has the potential to literally make the human race go extinct. And, it's kind of funny. We're a very arrogant species, and the idea that we could go extinct is kind of thought of as ridiculous. Well, why? I mean, if the planet becomes too hot to support human life and life in general, we can go extinct. So there are a whole bunch of trials now of people who are doing something called open rescue. And the idea is if you saw a dog suffering in a hot car, foaming at the mouth, you'd be applauded for breaking the window and rescuing the dog, right? Well, there are animals suffering in factory farms, in slaughterhouses right now, who are sick, who are dying, who are suffering. And these folks go in there, and they're not criminals. Some of them are PhDs, highly educated people. And they go in, they live stream themselves, because often when you go into a factory farm or a slaughterhouse, the owners will say, well, that was taken out of context. So most recently, Wayne Shung, a co-founder of Direct Action Everywhere, and his co-defendant, Paul Picklesheimer, went into a massive, one of the world's largest factory farms of pigs, and they live streamed it all in 360 degrees. So nobody could ever say you took it out of context, because you were seeing everything that they saw from the moment they went in to the moment they left. They left with 2 sick piglets, and they were put on trial, and they were acquitted. And Wayne Shung represented himself. Now, this is an extraordinary case that involves so many issues. It involves animal suffering. It involves freedom of speech, freedom of expression issues. It involves, innumerable issues. And yet there wasn't that much mainstream media coverage. So that's where Unchained TV comes in. I use the same format that I used to use on Court TV and on CNN Headline News to cover criminal charges involving murders of people and other crimes that you're all familiar with. And we had lawyers, we had a former assistant Manhattan district attorney, we had a former famed prosecutor, we had some legitimate, experts on to deconstruct this case over numerous days. And we were the only news organization in the world on live when the not guilty verdicts came down. And there was just euphoria and cheers. So many of their supporters had gathered outside the courthouse. Nobody else is showing this. If a tree falls and no one hears it, does it make a sound? And so this is something that the news media should be covering far more than they are. I mean, you get these tiny little articles that are meaningless. So it's very important that we get out there covering these trials. These people, last thing I'll say is, they're risking their lives. They are risking their lives to go undercover or to do these open rescues. And the least we can do is, report on their story. Thank you.
Vegan. Let's be the heroes that we always praise to rescue our planet.
There are 211 countries and regions which have animal people protection laws. Peru is one of them. Peru, Animal Protection and Well-being Law. The law protects domestic and wild vertebrates by acknowledging them to be sentient beings that deserve to enjoy being well treated by humans. Those committing acts of animal people cruelty will receive up to a 3-year jail term, a fine, and be banned from keeping animal persons. Obey the law of your country. No more animal people slaughterhouses. No more hurting. No more murdering them to eat, to lap taste, or for any reason at all. Be vegan. Make peace. So be it.
Make peace now. Not make women widows. Not make children cry. Make nations strong and still. Make your heart beautiful and new.
Happy viewers, we so appreciate your company today during the launch of Love is the Only Solution in the United States, Part 7 of 12. Please join us again on Saturday, November 18th for Part 8. Up next is multi-part series of Courage and Compassion on the Street, Part 10, Worldwide
and Marches to
Stop the Animal Industry, Brussels, Belgium. May your virtue set a shining example for present and future generations to follow the lifestyle of love and harmony among all sentient beings.
Be vegan, make peace, do good deeds, heaven Godspeed.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/AJAR.